Welcome back everyone for another Gamebug video. Today I'm going to be doing kind of a review, sort of a comparison between, well, not comparison actually, let's just call it a head-to-head. We'll be talking about Forza 7, Project Cars 2. Now the reason I'm doing this is because I am not a car racing fan. I don't like cars. I don't really care, to be honest. So it was weird that they got me to review these, but none of us really like cars that much. So, I mean, speaking of like Mario Kart and Need for Speed and stuff like that, I enjoy it more the arcade races, but not really the simulation races. So I guess the good way to compare these two is which one is more playable for someone who isn't into cars as much as, you know, a car fanatic. So just starting out, both games are, you know, they're aimed directly at people that are hardcore into cars. I mean, Forza has Forza Horizon, which is the more arcadey stuff. I actually like Forza Horizon 3. But the mainline Forza series and the Project Cars series are just die-hard car fanatics. So a lot of the stuff and the options in there, I'm just like, whoosh, over the head. So visually, between the two, Project Cars, the cars themselves look good, and I'm talking about the Xbox One version for both of these, because I thought that would be the fairest comparison. The cars look good, they're pretty detailed, but the backgrounds are just so bland, and almost PS3, Xbox 360 graphics for the sort of track, and I don't know, there's a lot of jagged lines and it just doesn't look all that great. I mean, it does run really smoothly and the cars go really fast, but I don't know, there's something missing on it visually. And I've heard that the PC actually is the better way to play Project Cars 2, just because you can bump up the graphics. Now with Forza Horizon, I keep saying Horizon. Now with Forza 7 on the other hand, it's probably one of the best looking games I've ever seen. The cars are just insanely detailed. The tracks are just crisp. Everything is just smooth. The backgrounds and the scenery is just unreal. Now, a main thing I want to talk about is most of the tracks on Project Cars 2 are just boring tracks. Like, there's no scenery. It's just you're on a racetrack and there's a couple of stands with a few people and, you know, just there's some tires. Like, it's really boring. But on Forza, you can drive through, you know, like Rio de Janeiro, and you can see the mountains and all the trees, and then you can drive through Prague, and just amazing detail in everything. The draw distance is insane. You can see buildings, and it looks incredible. The sky looks amazing. It's the best sky effects you've ever seen. The weather effects are unreal. The weather effects are not too bad in Project Cars 2, but in comparison to Forza, it's just, Forza is like up here. And transitioning from like, going from, you know, somewhat sunny to foggy and then going into rain, it's incredible how natural it looks. Like, you see the clouds getting dark and you're just like, oh, it's going to start raining, and it does. And you're just like, this is insanely detailed. So visually, I got to give the upper hand to Forza. I mean, the only hitch it has is in the cutscenes. It sort of dips a bit, like you get a bit of lagging during the cutscenes. But when you're playing, it's as smooth as anything. So I'm just assuming that once you get the Xbox One X, it's just going to be insane. Like, it'll just look even better. So, and you can also play that in 4K at the moment on a PC because it's the cross-platform with Windows and with your Xbox One. So, graphics aside, in the sound department, I mean, I'm not the best person to ask. They sound like cars. They make noises that cars make. The one thing that I'll say about both of them is there's not really anything going on. You just hear the cars and like a bit of like rustling from people, but like there's no music. Where is the music? Like, Need for Speed and all that are amazing because there's music, and this is just boring. So in terms of music, I can't recommend. Like, I don't understand why there's no music. I mean, you probably can put your own music in the background, but like, come on, man. I mean, I guess it costs money to license music, but just have something generic, just something. Anyway, yeah. So visually, Forza, sound, maybe, I don't know. I can't make that call. I mean, it just depends on the sound from the cars, and I don't really know much about, especially those supercars anyway. Now this is the big point I wanted to make. So the main difference for me is you've got two sim racing games which are for hardcore racing fans. So which one is easier to play for someone who is not used to those games? So for me, I generally just, in Need for Speed and that, want to hold the accelerator, never hit brake, just guns blazing, just straight down. I don't want to, maybe a couple of drifts. I don't want to think about braking and slowing down and taking, like, screw that. So I put on Project Cars 2 and I started playing it, and straight away I knew this is not for me. It was way too hard. Way too hard. It's like the car is stiff. It felt like I had to brake, completely stop the car, turn, then accelerate again. And I was like, well, that's not fun. And so I thought, maybe this is just me. So I got a couple of friends to try it out and just be like, just have a race and see how you go. Everything, the same thing. Bang, just smack into a wall. And they're like, why isn't it turning? It's obviously best using a wheel. That would be even better. But for controllers, I guess you would just need to get to practice it. And I guess for people that already have experience playing racing games and are deeply into this whole thing, I mean, I guess it works better for them. So I was just like, I don't enjoy this at all. It's too hard and it's not fun. And I don't like slowing down because a racing game, I want to go fast. I mean, you know, it's the whole issue with Sonic. Everyone's like, oh, he stops and slows. Anyway. So Forza, on the other hand, you can, and I mean, you can do the driver assist and all that in Project Cars 2, but it's not as easy to set up as it is in Forza. In Forza, you basically just tweak and change, and it's really easy. And I started playing that, and, you know, at the start it's hard, so I just adjusted it a bit, and bang, I'm like coming first in races. And then as you feel that you're getting better, you just slightly take some of those assists off, and it just works so much better. So in regards to Forza, when I'm going blazing down a highway, you know, it shows the little arrows you can have so that it shows you when you're supposed to brake and that. Or you can just have it so it brakes for you, which I just love because I'm like, I can't be bothered. I just want to race. And this is not a game I get really invested in. So in terms of that, like if this game is to be recommended to someone who likes cars, but they're not a crazy sim racing fan, Forza all the way. And it's a shame that these games aren't as accessible to the whole wider audience. I mean, Forza is lucky in the fact that they have Horizon series, but it doesn't say on Horizon, like, advertise, like, for people who aren't insane, you know, like, they're just two separate games, but people wouldn't know that Forza Horizon is more accessible and easier and more for people who are not into cars as much, especially with that Hot Wheels pack. So I would give gameplay to Forza in that regard. And in terms of cars and all that sort of thing, I know Forza had like the exclusive rights to Porsche, and I think Toyota is not in the game. I can't even remember the difference, but I guess the games have, you know, equally amount. I think Forza has more cars. I off the top of my head, I can't think at the moment. But it just, everything in the presentation, Forza did better. There was just too much talking and dialogue and menus and so much crap in Project Cars 2 that I was just like, this is too much. Like, I don't even want to play it. It's not enjoyable for me. So, for something that's more accessible, Forza again. And, you know, I can't give any scores to these games because it's not really fair, because I'd be scoring something that I know nothing about. But I just wanted to make this video to sort of give that comparison of which one is more accessible if you do feel like you want a car racing game, but you're not the greatest at them? I would say Forza, because Project Cars 2 just to me seems like it is aimed at hardcore racing fans, and that's it. And it's like, if you don't know how to play racing games, you can piss off, because that's what it feels like. And yeah, I guess that's probably the only main areas that I would compare. As I said, tracks look better. There's more variety in Forza. You know, visually everything's better. The weather effects are better. It runs better. It doesn't run better. They run both equally well, but for the visual fidelity that Forza has, how it runs is insane. So I guess, yeah, I just wanted to give that comparison for anyone who was trying to weigh up which one, if you were to pick from the two. But again, check out all the other reviews out there. Luke Riley from IGN, I know he's a massive car racing fan, so he'd have a better understanding for it. But his review, I guess, would be focused on, you know, for car racing fans. So I wanted to give a little video to clarify what's easier for those who are not so into car racing games like myself. So thanks for watching this video, guys, and stay tuned for more reviews coming up soon. Thanks. Bye.